VHS. My name's Steve, and today I got a little diorama for you guys. Also, just realized I left my phone on the table. But anyways, what this is, if you guys are looking at it, it's just a bunch of broken wood. I actually have it on my little spinner here, just so you guys can kind of get a little 360 view. But what this is actually replicating, grabbing Mr. Soupy Shreddus. Actually, I'll probably bring this forward a little bit more too. It's gonna drag my cloth. Whatever. But anyways, adjusting him around, getting him to stand. It's a display for Super Shredder. What this is replicating the scene from the finale of the film where Shredder injects himself with the Ooze, becomes Super Shredder, and systematically starts destroying the docks that they are we're on top of. They get knocked down, and then he starts smashing his way through. Now, I know there's a couple of things that's kind of a little bit weird on why he's back here, but this stuff's broken. I just mainly did that for display reasons. I just thought it would be kind of weird if it was like, I guess in reverse, in a sense, so I could have like Shredder looking through the broken little boards here. But I don't know, I just kind of like the way it presents itself like this. But what this is, and actually, let's take the camera on a little adventure here for a minute. Don't do this too often with this camera in particular. It's meant to be a static camera, but you guys can kind of see. What I had to do was essentially this top and bottom here were picture frames. What I started with is drilling the holes out for the rods here, which are 7/8 size dowel rods. Started cutting those to size. I tried to get as close as I could, but because of the time frame I was working with, decided not to really make them super accurate in size. I could always fix it up later. But drilled the holes through the board, drilled the holes into the dowel rods, used some toothpicks to actually keep them in place. From there, used super glue to keep the toothpicks in, and then used mainly hot glue to attach them to the display. Kind of went a little crazy with it, but because I was going to be adding the resin later, it having sort of a wet look around the wood wasn't going to be detrimental because, again, we're going to be using resin later. And then for the broken ones, I literally just went outside, broke some dowel rods, and then cut some to the right sizes that I needed. And then just used some of the extra bits, as you guys can see. There's a broken piece there. I tried to use as much of it as possible because I didn't really want to have any extra waste on it. And then once that was all attached, started making the little wood planks that you see all over the place. What these are is little sticks that you can buy at the craft store. That you get quite a bit of them for like $3. I just took those, was breaking them apart, and then just gluing them all over the place to kind of just in spots to make it look like, because the top here has a hole in it, so you would have sort of like rubble wood from that, plus from stuff shattering, yada yada yada. Which I think overall gives it a really nice look, at least for like photography and stuff. Then for the top section here, where you have the hole that Shredder made to start destroying the dock and knocking the turtles down, that I just drilled a bunch of little holes and took a hammer to it, broke it out, and then after that just did a wash of a mix of black and red for the wood here in order to get that more like old weathered look to it, because initially it was not like good looking wood, which is what I want, but not the right color, definitely too bright. And then afterwards just took some resin. Didn't really film that, but you guys can kind of see here, I just mixed up some resin and just kind of globbed it all over the place to give it a nice wet look, because of course they're on a dock, so there's going to be like puddles and wetness everywhere, which is what I was trying to replicate. And I think overall it did a really nice job. For the most part, if you guys want to do one of these yourselves, it's super simple to do. Well, simple as in, I guess, cheap. Because doing this here ran me like $35. If you don't have the resin, it definitely jumps up the price a little bit because you're probably spending about another $20 just for resin. Then like hot glue, stuff like that. So if you already have most of the items, like tools you'll need is like a hot glue gun, like a drill or a Dremel, and then that's about it, like super glue. And then it's just mainly the rest of the parts, like the dollar rods. Ran about what, I got 4 of them, so that was about $8. These little picture frames were like $9. Well, they're not really picture frames, they're like for signs. You could pick them up like at Walmart. And the little things were like $3. So again, about like $35 to $40 depending, because the same thing if you don't have like the paint colors. The paint's really cheap though, it's like $1 for each of the colors, so you only really need 2. And yeah, really happy with it. I think it replicates the look nicely. You get some of the turtles and be like, you're gonna bring it down. Also, his bow staff fell out and I'm really sad about it now. It's like he ate the entire thing. Now, granted, like I could get the turtles posing in here, which is something that I'm actually considering. Because the only problem is these turtles are the 1990s, so they don't really work with that. But to be fair, if they do decide to actually give us the Secret of the Ooze turtles, they do have places that they can stand on here for displaying. Because to be honest, you put like one of the turtles here, one to the back, and one to each of the sides. You can put them on the corners. The other thing I was thinking of is actually having them up here, which I'll take the camera off again, is being able to pose the turtles up here, and they could be looking down at the shredder. I kind of want to have some way of actually, like, I could prop him up to get his like hand up there, but side against it. It's not like it would be too crazy. He's mainly just gonna be standing down here looking menacing with this. But gonna do some photos for the review, and then this will actually probably be out before the review. To be fair, so when you guys go to check out the video, you'll definitely see some photos using this towards the end of the video, and also for the thumbnail. Then for a thumbnail for this, also gotta smack my lights. Gotta clean up some of this excess glue on here still. But yeah, pretty easy. You don't really have to be an expert to actually pull this one off, or even do this for professionally. Again, it's most of this is like you just cut it as close as you possibly can. You're literally just breaking stuff, and then just painting and hot gluing for the most part. And even if you wanted to skip doing the resin here, which I recommend the resin because it definitely looks a lot more like water than the other options. But you could use like some floor polish. Could possibly do the trick because it's got a nice shine to it already when it hardens. You could use Mod Podge. You could hot glue if you really wanted to. But I think resin kind of gave me the best look, because even on the sides here too, you can see the nice shine where I added it to. Kind of wish I would have mixed up some more, because I definitely would like some more wetness on the poles here. I think it'll be something that I can maybe come back to eventually, but for the most part, pretty satisfied. One thing I don't have displayed here that I'm eventually going to do is I got a buddy making a logo for this, for Secret of the Ooze, which actually, just to show you guys, he printed off a Godzilla logo for me and sent it over to my place, and it looks super fancy. Very professional looking. Really like the paint job on it. Has a nice red to it. You can kind of see where some of the print lines are, but for the most part, I think it works really well. He's actually got them on his Etsy currently, where you can actually get them with little stands, so that you have them resting up next to your Godzilla figures. He's also doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones, which is the one I'm currently ordering for this, that I'm going to probably hang somewhere on here, especially if I'm going to be using this primarily for displaying a lot of the Turtles 2 stuff when they start making them. Except for Token Razor, we'll have to make one special for those guys. But other than that, definitely appreciate getting this. Super duper sweet. But we'll have a link in the description below for his Etsy shop. His 3D print figure plaques. As you guys can see, from our good friend John, $20. Looks super fancy in the pictures. And highly recommend, if you guys want something to accent your collections, to definitely hit him up. And thanks again for the sign. Should maybe just hook it right here. Man, like, how badass is that going to be with that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle logos right there? Oh, it's gonna be dope. But anyways, help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, become a ranger today. We also got an Instagram, Patreon, Pinterest, and Facebook. Guys like to keep up to date with the channel, would greatly appreciate it. We also have a Discord for our Patreons for $3. Was definitely actually showing this on there for progress shots before they popped up on my Instagram. It's actually more stuff. Plus, we've been going over some of the stuff that they've been making. Some of the collections and interesting pre-orders. So if you guys are interested, definitely make sure to go check that out. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.